We're your hosts,
Aaron Backus
and Jason Kindler.
We like to sit down with our guests to hear their journey, their challenges, and how they impact the local community.
So grab a seat, tune in, and let's get inspired by Jacksonville's everyday workforce.
Welcome to Hometown Jax.
Hey, welcome to Hometown Jax. Jason Kindler, and I'm here with Mike J. First thing is, you have a measuring tape on you
Absolutely.
At all times.
All times.
So, little background, Mike. You are a Jacksonville native.
I am.
So, the point of our podcast is to highlight people either from Jacksonville, live here now, and that make our city awesome. So. We've had some amazing guests, and I know you'll be an amazing guest too. So we're happy to have you. So, Mike, you just kind of returned home, right?
Yeah, just made it back. I've been away since 2017.
Yeah.
And just moved back in May, right before we opened the shop.
Got it. So, speaking of the shop, so the company name is Tweeds.
Yes.
Right. So Tweeds is doing a little background on it. Tweeds is a custom suit. Custom tuxedos, that type of thing.
Custom suits, and it's not just suits. So sport coats, jeans, business shirts, casual shirts, whatever someone may be looking for. But we make everything handmade from scratch.
Dang, that's sweet.
Yeah.
So I know just looking on to you've this first location is in Jacksonville, but there's several locations throughout Florida, right?
Yeah. So Sarasota is where it all started.
Okay.
A friend of mine, Donald Carlson, he's the mastermind and the brains behind all of this.
Yeah.
We both worked in the dry cleaning industry.
Dry cleaning.
Back in the day. So, we became friends back in 2014, and we would just have conversations constantly about what's the next step. What are we going to do? We knew that dry cleaning wasn't the end all for us.
Yeah.
So, he decided to leave his dad's company. He sold his car, bought a 16-foot box truck, and built a suit shop in the back of it. So that's how it all started. He was a one-man operation for a long time, and then he just started calling up friends and inviting us along for the journey.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so we spread out from there. Jacksonville's now our 10th location.
That's awesome. Well, congrats on the new shop. So let's just talk a little bit about it. So you were born and raised in Jax, and then where did you own your dry cleaning business at?
So dry cleaning was here in Jacksonville.
Oh, it was. Okay.
So yeah, born and raised here, grew up in Atlantic Beach. Did pick up and delivery dry cleaning for a long time. So what I would do is I would go to clients' homes and offices, pick up their dry cleaning or their laundry, whatever they may have, and bring it back, clean it, take it back to them a couple days later and drop it off. So it's really convenient service, right to their front door. They didn't have to do anything. They just sit it outside, and we took care of it from there.
That sounds good.
It was fun. We did it for a long time, and I really enjoyed it.
So the path that how'd you get into fashion?
Well, Donald.
Really?
I didn't really get into it until Tweeds, but prior to that, during my career in dry cleaning, I always made it a point to dress how my clients dressed. Mm-hmm. So, I'm visiting a lot of, some of the wealthier neighborhoods in town. I also ran a route through downtown Jacksonville. So a lot of law offices, the courthouse, city hall, all of these places. So it became very important to me to, when I first started doing it, I just have like my cargo shorts and a t-shirt on and a hat. And eventually I changed it to like slacks and like a polo or a button-down dress shirt. Yep. Sometimes I would wear a tie, just trying to elevate the experience. Because, it is a luxury experience. So elevate the experience, but also elevate myself. And that started my understanding of fabrics and menswear. Also, the dry cleaning background helped out with understanding fabrics and different things like that as well. So that's kind of where it all started. And then, meeting Donald, he was a guy that was very much into dressing really, really well. And at the time that we were in the dry cleaning industry, we were both just kind of like the young guys, going after it really hard. And we both had that same principle of dressing like your clients. So it just kind of made sense when he called me to join Tweeds. It's one of the things he said was like, hey man, we've always kind of been on the same page mentally and like the way we like to present ourselves. This is what I'm doing with suits.
That's so good. Yep.
And I didn't know a whole lot about suiting or tailoring or any of that. So independent study, and then coming on to the team with Tweeds, fortunate relationships that we had down there in Sarasota that helped us along the way.
That's really cool. Yeah. So one thing that you said, and it's kind of something that stuck through, kind of growing up, and, I was told one time to, don't dress like your current position is business, dress like the position you want to be in.
Absolutely.
And so I think, and just side note on this, I think, a lot of, professions have kind of got away from, dressing up. Let's just, call it what it is. So dressing up, and, I think it's important. I think it's important that, you present yourself. You only got one chance to make a first impression.
Absolutely.
So that's good. So let's talk specifically about Tweeds, right? So, what's the difference between a custom suit and and something that you would buy off the rack?
Yeah, good question. Because I think the word custom gets thrown around a lot. There are a lot of companies out there that claim to do custom, say that they have custom, but true custom is what we do. Now, I think there's also a distinction between custom and bespoke. Now, these days, a lot of terms are thrown around casually and interchangeable. Similar to the term sport coat and blazer. People think it's an interchangeable, but they're actually two very distinct things. So,
okay, I need to learn because I would have definitely said the same thing.
Yeah,
So,
and most people do.
Yeah.
And I always know what people mean when they come in and they're talking like, hey, I want a blazer or this and that. I know that they may mean sport coat. A blazer is a very specific garment.
Gotcha. Okay.
But the same thing with custom and bespoke. Bespoke is a very specific process where the garment is almost built on the client.
Okay.
What we do is a little bit different, where we don't require as many fittings as a bespoke garment. We take the initial measurements, and then we make the garment, and then we do a fitting and we make adjustments from there. So it is made to everybody's individual body type and their specifications, because each client wants their suits to fit differently. A lot of the younger guys want the more tapered, slim fit. Older guys like a more traditional fit. Some people are looking for very specific styles, like a zoot suit or something like that. So everything is different. So what makes us different is that we take all of that into account and we make it exactly the way someone wants it to be made, and then also the different details that can happen. With the buttons and the liners and custom embroidery and all of those things. Those are the things that make custom versus some of these places where you go where they say they do custom suits, but really what they do is they take a suit that they already have pre-made and they tailor it down to you.
Gotcha.
So that's technically a tailored suit and not a custom suit.
Got it.
So, the terminology is all over the place. But
I want the custom one.
Yeah. And that's the custom is made for you. It's a beautiful situation to have something made specifically for you.
What did you decide, or how did you decide? I know Donald. You talked to him. I mean, what made you bring Tweeds to Jacksonville? What was your thought process with that?
Well, we started expanding. And, when I joined Tweeds, we were still mobile company, still in the box truck. We had 3 box trucks. One of them was stationary at a mall. That was our storefront.
Gotcha.
And then the other one was not really working anymore, so it was kind of just parked, and it acted as a billboard. And then the third one was the mobile box truck that we would take to appointments, pull up at somebody's office building, things like that, go to special events. So we opened the first store down in Sarasota. And, honestly, once that store opened, we thought, this is awesome. This is it. Yeah. And then, Tampa opened, and then St. Pete opened, and we were like, yeah, this is awesome. This is it.
Okay.
But luckily, mindset is always continuing to push forward. We have a mentality internally in the company that we always say we're still in the basement. We're just trying to climb to the first floor. Yep. And we still believe that way. Yep. So when we start spreading out, it's like, okay, what are the next logical steps? And opportunity came up in Naples, opportunity came up in Orlando. Then we pushed for Miami and some other places in the south east coast of Florida, like West Palm, Fort Lauderdale, Delray Beach. And after that, the next logical step is North Florida.
Right.
So, toyed around with the idea of like Tallahassee, and then Jacksonville, going back and forth. Donald had come up here a couple of times. He didn't really know where to go. So kind of got put on the back burner. And at that time, I wasn't really thinking that I would move back to Jacksonville. I had gone from Sarasota to St. Pete to open that store. So I thought, St. Pete was great. I had met my wife. She was living in Tampa at the time.
Gotcha.
And so I'm like, life is good here where I'm at. But we got to thinking about it, and we started, my wife and I, family planning and things like that. And she always talked about how fondly I spoke of my childhood growing up here. And, she's like, would Jacksonville be a good place to raise a family? And I said, absolutely. Jacksonville would be a wonderful place to raise a family.
Right.
So, the more we talked about it, we took this trip to Puerto Rico this past spring break. She's a teacher. She was a teacher. She had some time off. And over that vacation, we had time to think and relax. We got back on the plane, came home that Friday. I called Donald. I was like, hey, man, I know you want to make Jacksonville happen. No, none of the other Tweeds guys at that point were jumping at the opportunity.
Sure.
So I said, I'm the guy. Let's make it happen.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he's like, all right, let's drive up there Monday. So
So like vacation to boom.
Yeah, that Monday we drove up. And, we left like 5 a.m. that morning because we wanted to get here early. And, our goal was we're going to find a place today. We didn't care what we had to do.
Yep.
We're going to knock on doors. We don't care. And that's actually how it happened. Was we're looking at places. I'm very fond of Riverside because that was a big part of where I picked up and delivered dry cleaning.
Got it. Yep.
We're there looking at places. No one would answer the phone. All the phone numbers on the door from all the realtors, nobody was answering the phone. So
Answer the phone.
Nobody's answering the phone. So we're looking in this one spot, and somebody's coming down the street, and he's like, "Oh, you guys looking to rent this place?" And we're like, "Yeah, we'd love to. It looks like it could be pretty cool. We want to just kind of see inside." He's like, "Oh, well, the owner's right around the corner." We're like, "Okay." So we go around the corner. He owns a little food or grocery store right there in 5 Points. We walked in and was just like, "Hey, is the owner here?" He comes out, he meets us, takes us around. We look inside the place, got a chance to open the doors, and we instantly knew, like, this is the spot.
It's like walking into it's like, boom.
Yeah, and so we did go, we looked around Avondale, San Marco, and we checked out a couple of other areas while we were in town, but we left that evening and we're headed back down to Sarasota, and we were just like, yeah, that's the spot. Let's just pull the trigger. He calls the guy up on the phone while we're driving back, and he's like, "Hey, I think we're gonna do it." And the guy's like, "All right, I'll start drawing up the lease." And you have to do your due diligence and all that stuff. But that's kind of how it happened.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how's it? So you've been officially open in that spot since when?
Since June.
So since June. How's it been?
It's been pretty good. And it's been a surprise for all of us. Usually, we kind of know the ropes now with opening stores, and it's usually about a 4 to 6 month window before you really start getting into profitability. But Jacksonville, I think, the first month and it was kind of rough.
Yeah.
The second month got a little better, and then August was just a boom.
That's awesome.
And so, in September has been really good too. So I think we've all been kind of surprised at just, how quickly it's taken off. Because realistically, looking at Jacksonville, it's not the most robust market.
Right.
Looking at it,
comparatively to
like Miami or West
yeah.
Palm or something like that. So it's been a very pleasant surprise. And for me personally, being from here, I've always had to defend Jacksonville. Anytime people, when I moved to Sarasota,
hey, we're up and coming though.
Yeah, everybody's like, I was like, I'm from Jacksonville. They're like, oh, that's. Sorry for you. I'm glad you found better. And I'm like, no, Jacksonville's awesome. You just don't know.
Yeah. That's I always thought of it as the pass through to everything else in Florida.
That's what everybody says. This is where they pass through on their way to Disney.
How's it feel to? I think I know the answer, but how's it feel to build something in your hometown?
Feels amazing, man. Before leaving Jacksonville, there were always things that I wanted to accomplish here. I never felt before like I had the knowledge or even the platform to do some of the things I wanted to do. Just like, again, that mentality of people who don't live here of it's just a pass through town and this and that. Living here, I knew that there was more to Jacksonville, and it's like, how do I bring that out and make that a thing and like raise the level of the city so that we can get to that level of like other Florida cities where people recognize this is a beautiful place to be.
Yeah.
And I never felt like I was able to do that. Now, a little bit through dry cleaning, I was introduced to a lot of really, really great people, and that was the perfect time in my life for opening my mind and expanding the way I thought about things and opportunities. We talked about a lot of those books when I came in, the books that you have around here.
Yep.
That's when I was introduced to a lot of that stuff, was during that time, and just delivering dry cleaning to attorneys' offices downtown, and they would introduce me to different things and different experiences. So I knew that there was more that I could do. I just didn't know how to do it. And so I think leaving and just kind of going out and experiencing other things, and then now coming back with Tweeds after, we've built this company up to a certain level that the name carries a little bit of weight whenever I say it. So I think it gives us the opportunity to now kind of raise the expectations and the level of the city and what's going on here.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had anything like this in Jacksonville. So
no, I mean, if you obviously there's if you just do a little bit of research, you can find. But I was looked on your website and everything like that, and I haven't seen anything that's quite that custom.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So to circle back, I feel like now I'm in a position with Tweeds backing me to bring the city up and just kind of raise the level of awareness about what we got going on here, and
awesome.
At the same time make wearing suits cool again.
Well, I was about to say maybe the spike in August, people were getting prepared for the cooler months.
For sure. It's that time of year where usually, summer we usually have a dip.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it was a perfect time to move and open this store.
Yeah,
here.
absolutely. So, just in general, how do you think dressing a certain way with dressing up helps with style, confidence?
All right. So I don't want to say the specific college. I mean, I could say like, it's Harvard study, because everybody says it's a Harvard study, but some university did a study, and there's a concept called enclothed cognition.
Okay.
And what that is when you dress up and and it doesn't have to be a suit, but just whenever you put on your best clothing, the thing that feels the best and that you feel like you look the best in, it automatically triggers something in your brain. That makes you, stand a bit taller, you speak a little bit more clearly, and just have that confidence in your walk and everything. So I think that's a very, very real thing.
Yep.
And, I've seen it firsthand when I've worked with especially younger guys. Now, most older guys in their like 60s, 70s, 80s, they've worn suits plenty. So they already have that. But typically the younger guys, like especially when they're like, 22, between that 22 and 28, never had a suit in their life, and they put that suit on for the first time. I remember this young attorney, he worked for his dad in Tampa, and he has suits, but he had never done custom before. But I remember he comes out of the dressing room, he tried on his suit for the first time, and he's like checking himself out in the mirror, and he's just feeling it.
Yeah.
And I remember when he leaves, I asked him, I said, hey, would you like to take it off and I'll bag it in the garment bag for you? You can take it with you. He's like, no, I want to wear this.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because he's headed back to the office.
Yeah.
And he was starting to take over his dad's firm. So he was starting to be the one going to court now. So that's why he needed the suits.
Yeah.
Before, he was just in the office, so he didn't dress up, a whole lot. But when he left that day, the thing he said that like really struck me and made me feel really good was he's like, now my dad's not going to look at me and call me a bum anymore. And I was like, that means a lot, and just giving, especially the younger guys, giving them that confidence.
Yep.
But even when it comes to older gentlemen, in their 60s or 70s, maybe their suits don't fit the way they want them to because styles have changed now. And so when you get them in like a new style and especially seeing the reaction of the wife, who's only seen him in the big baggy 90s suit, and then something a little more form-fitting and that accentuates the figure a little more. Yeah. And the wife's just like, oh my God, this is amazing.
That's so good.
those are always some of the best feelings. So I've seen it firsthand.
We'll get back to the story in just a second, but while you're listening, here's something you should know if you live in Northeast Florida. If you're self-employed and trying to buy a home, it's not as hard as you might think. We work with business owners, freelancers, and creatives every single day. People who don't fit the traditional housing molds, and we're here to let you know that we have real loan programs that make homeownership possible. We've helped tons of local business owners and creatives get approved using flexible loan options that work for them and their business. First Coast Mortgage Funding is proud to sponsor Hometown Jax right here in Jacksonville.
Something you said there was it doesn't matter what business that you're in. If you're pleasing a client and making them feel, I mean, there's a reward that comes back to you with that.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, and anything that you're client facing, you want to present your best self at all times.
100%. You mentioned the 90s suits.
The Brooks Brothers sack suits, man. It's
there was a, I think it's, I can't remember what year it was, but it's the draft, NBA draft that Carmelo Anthony's in. I mean, the suits are so baggy.
Yeah, LeBron has
LeBron,
that, like, all of
I think
them,
it's Dwayne Wade, and they're all in that suit. So, what do you? This is just a little bit off topic. What do you see? As far as styles now that you think will be, that'll be in now and maybe gone later?
Well, I mean, I don't know about gone later, but I think things are definitely tending to shift more towards more fitted garments. And I think a part of that is because like health and wellness is so big now.
Yep.
A lot of people work out more, lift weights, are part of run clubs, things like that. So when you're getting your body in its best shape, you want to show that off a little bit. And I think that's reflective in how people are dressing these days. And with suits, I think,
it's a good point. Yeah.
If there's one thing that will go away, I think it's the overly tight, slim fitted or skinny fitted suits. I think that's going to go away. I think that was popularized with some of the younger generation getting into suits, and, the jackets are cut just super tight or overly short, and the short pants and things like that. Now, personally, I love a no-break pant, and, I like to show off a little bit of sock. Or like today, I don't have any socks on, but, I have my no-show socks on. But that's because I'm wearing jeans with sneakers with the jacket. But, and that's another conversation there, is like how people are expressing themselves with different garments and things like that. But
I mean, I was just your jacket's amazing.
Thanks.
Jacket's amazing, but it dresses up. It dresses up to where that's how we dress sometimes. Like I can go jeans, a polo, and a blazer, and be good.
Yep. And then when you do put a full suit on, it's a game changer.
Yeah. Talk about mentorship, mission, things like that. So I know one of the things that that I read is you wanted to start a program to help boys.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that.
So there was a quote that I read, and it was probably around the age of like 24, 25. And it said that, the two of the most important things that a man can have in his life is to be mentored and also to be a mentor. So that was around the age when I began to seek out mentors. And that's where dry cleaning comes in, because two of my biggest mentors in life were people that I met through the dry cleaning industry. So now that I've, come around to the age now of I'm the age that my mentors were when I met them 12 years ago.
Yep.
And so I feel it's important now for me to also turn around and reach back and help young men who may be struggling. I know there was a time in my life where I felt lost. I didn't know what the next step might be. And I didn't, you don't know how to get there. Yep. You know where you want to go. You just don't know how to get there. And I think having a mentor was really the first step in getting over that hurdle for me, because, again, that's where the books come in, and understanding what to read and how to apply myself properly and what skills do I need to learn. And I know that there are a lot of young men.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's a lot of young men out there now that, and I would assume it's probably, harder nowadays with, the climate of like social media and how everything's just so force fed to you. And for a young man in today's world, they may feel like they have to live up to a certain image or a certain financial standing, and the pressure of that without knowing how to get there can be, a struggle.
Everything's good on Instagram.
Exactly. So
yeah.
I want to help some young men who,
awesome.
maybe are in that area of life where they know they're meant for something more, and they know they have something to offer the world. They just don't know how to present it or how to package it, or how to get to the next level of growth and knowledge. And I want to help them get there.
Man, that says something about you, because that's awesome. I think a lot of us have had some turning points where
sure.
you meet somebody and they, I have a couple guys I can go back and go, okay, that person shaped my path, which was not, was not exactly what I was doing at the time, but showed me a different way. And I'm still keep in touch with those people.
Yeah.
And it's like, same thing. There's definitely joy in reaching back. So that's cool.
And I think it's an ongoing thing. Like, I don't think mentorship stops
No.
at any age. I think at all ages, you're going to still be reaching up to say, hey, how did you do this at this age? There's right now I'm, approaching my 40s, and, I'm looking at like gentlemen in their 50s and 60s, and they're doing great things. It's like, okay, how do I get from here to there?
Yep.
Like, help me with that. And at the same time, we want to reach back and help somebody else get from where they are to where I am.
Yeah, that's very cool. In regards to Jacksonville, I moved here about 14 years ago.
Okay.
And like we talked about, like it was the pass through city. Like I had no idea what's going on. And I think we've gone over, gotten over that hurdle, but there's a lot of amazing things that are going on in this city. Why do you think that, you grew up here? So why do you think over the last 5 to 10 years, why do you think, that shifts happen to where there's a lot more business coming to Jacksonville and things like that?
I think there's a few different factors that are going to add to that. First, a lot of the other cities Florida's a very desirable place to be for, tax purposes and all this other stuff, sunshine. Miami is crowded and overrun. Tampa is getting to that level too. Orlando is seen as more of a touristy destination. So Jacksonville is right at the perfect point now that the level of desirability is up, and especially I've talked to a lot of people who moved down to Sarasota and St. Pete that lived in the Midwest or the Northwest, and I think the migration for them to here in Jacksonville, they still get a little bit of the seasonal changes. Because it gets a little cooler here, a little faster. Down in Miami and like South Florida, it's just hot. You know what I mean? And they might not want that. So I think that's the appeal there. Again, the family factor in Jacksonville. There's a lot of fun family activities to do. So raising kids here is a great thing to do. But also, Jacksonville, just like everything is coming up. The big thing I think is people like myself that grew up here and left are now coming back. I saw someone recently mentioned the term boomerangers. So we've been thrown out there, and now we're slinging back home. And I think what we're seeing now is a lot of us left Jacksonville and got a different perspective from some other places. Because I moved around before Tweeds. I lived in Kansas City for a couple of years. I lived in St. Louis for a couple of years. I traveled. So after dry cleaning, after pickup and delivery dry cleaning, I became a consultant. So national consultant in the dry cleaning industry, and I would travel the country and help people build their pickup and delivery service.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I got a chance to see a lot of different cities and just the way that different people live and some of the different methods and things. And so I'm bringing that back with me now. And I think you have a lot of military. I got a lot of friends that I went to school with that joined the military, and they're now coming back. A lot of people who left for work in different other jobs and industries in places like New York and LA, and now they're coming back. And everybody's bringing those experiences back to Jacksonville. And I think that's what's helping raise the level. And then, the people here in Jacksonville, I think, have done a really good job of trying to push forward.
Yep.
You know, being away for as long as I was, I would always read like Jacksonville Business Journal and all this stuff, and follow things on LinkedIn and Facebook where I could, and I always saw constant progress.
Yep.
So I think it's a combination of all those things that's now making Jacksonville the perfect destination.
I think it's great points, but I think that, you know, everyone has a forward thinking here. You know, there's very rarely do you run into somebody that's like, oh, it's too much. Stop this. I mean, for the most part, it's, you know,
For the most part,
a lot of people want, you know, the growth. I mean, the new Jags stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal. I mean, everything that's going on around there is huge. Moving the museum over there, the Four Seasons that's coming in, and then all the other development going on around downtown. I think it's a long time.
I mean, where the shop's at, you know, where you're, I mean, you know, Riverside, Avondale, everything has, you know, they've done an amazing job with all that stuff. So now the final piece is the downtown.
Yeah, that's the final
piece.
And I think, you know, a lot of people want to keep a lot of the historic aspects of Jacksonville intact, and I think that's where a lot of the pushback has come from over the years. I like that now. It seems like we're finding good mesh points.
Yep,
So
I think so.
Of keeping it historic, because Jacksonville's got a ton of history, and you don't want to destroy any of that, but you also want to be progressive and move forward. And I think we're finding a good mix of that now.
I'm sure with your travels, you've seen, you know, different cities with, you know, I just think about sports stadiums and stuff like that. It's like, you know, when the atmosphere, when you go to a sports stadium, you're able to stay close to the stadium if you're out of town, or, you know, even spending a night. You've got bars, restaurants, and things like that are all there. I mean, it just makes the experience, you know, that much better.
You get people to hang around a little
tourism.
longer. I think that's been a part of the problem too, is, you know, when someone comes to the city of Jacksonville, it's great for people that live here, but it's not always the best for people that don't live here. And so having things like that around downtown and around the stadium, I think will do wonders for, you know, let's just say somebody comes for a football game, and while they're here, we do have like nice hotels and restaurants that are right there around the stadium, and they get to experience that. That's going to draw them back in for another visit, maybe that's not football related.
Sure.
You know, so I think it's important.
Yep. So let's have some fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So what's your favorite suit color combo right now?
Oh, man. Like of mine personally?
Just whatever.
Because I have some very strong opinions on some things. Navy suit, hands down. I strongly believe every man needs a navy suit in their wardrobe.
Okay.
Every single man on the face of this planet needs a navy suit.
All right, navy suit. Got it.
Yeah, but my personal favorite now is like I have a dark green.
Yeah.
That I really really like to wear, and I've never been super drawn to green. I'm a blue kind of guy.
Right.
But the green, I'm loving it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Most underrated piece in a man's wardrobe.
Back to Navy. The Navy sport coat or blazer. Versatility. That's why that one is, you know, if you got a Navy sport coat, you can put it on with, you know, an odd pair of slacks. So like a gray or a khaki, and they're going to go. You can throw it on with a pair of jeans. You can wear a dress shirt or a polo. It's just a good, solid colored staple piece that never gets old.
Yep.
And it goes with a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
So.
Navy sport coat.
Yeah, Navy
got
sport
it.
coat. I know there's the Navy theme going on here, and I'm sitting here wearing
I got Navy on too.
Yeah.
Favorite local coffee spot? If you're a coffee drinker.
That's a loaded question, man. I've got to give props to Brew 5 Points just because you know they're my neighbors there in 5 Points. Big fans of them. But I mean, some of these other companies that are around here, Southern Grounds.
Yeah.
Like
they're
we're
really
talking
good.
about aesthetics.
Yeah.
The outside just looks awesome. And then Bold Bean.
Yeah.
Yeah, got to go for them
All
too.
right, cool. What's a fashion trend that you secretly love?
Secretly love. I don't know that I have any secrets about anything.
Or you transparently love?
Yeah. Gosh, I mean, right now, and I think it's a result of like COVID and things going more casual, but like jeans and a jacket, I think it's awesome. Whether you wear it with like sneakers or dress shoes or cowboy boots, I think the jeans and jacket look is something. I don't think it's going anywhere.
Okay, good.
I think everybody can pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I love coming to work. Just I can feel the jeans.
Yeah.
Tennis shoes. But
right now, no ripped jeans though. No ripped jeans. Can't do that. But nice classic dark wash jeans.
Yeah. The younger guys. They'll roll the ripped jeans. But
yeah, they gotta stop that.
I was gonna say it might be a style that's not around for much longer.
Hopefully not.
Okay, so here's the big question. In Jacksonville, who's your dream celebrity client?
Any one of the Jacksonville Jaguars players.
Okay.
Obviously Trevor Lawrence would be awesome. I like styling athletes because they're tall and they all have like really well built out shoulders, so they're going to look amazing in a suit.
Yeah.
But also they all struggle with finding really, really good fits because a lot of times their shoulders and their chests are big and they taper off at the
They're
waist.
not getting on the rack.
Yeah, and then the big quads and everything, so they struggle a lot. And so, when you make something that fits them really, really well, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Outside of that, somebody that I grew up watching on the news all the time is Ken Amaro. That would be really, really cool.
That's cool.
To style him out. Plus, he always dressed really well too. So that would be a cool one.
Yeah. So what we hope is that one of the Jags players, Trevor, Travis,
Travis, definitely, man.
Travis,
I love some Travis.
Travis
Hunter,
got
man.
some style.
Yeah, he does.
So what we hope is that you're able to fit one of them, and then on ESPN they're always doing the fit before walking into the stadium. So we hope you're that guy.
Yeah, man. And these guys, I mean, I will say now what I see from them, Trevor and Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon Walker, a lot of these guys, when I see the Instagram of the pregame and everything, like Jags over the last few years have had some style. Like, these guys really, really do it well. Logan Cook is another guy that just does it really, really well. So, they all got style. I would just love to be the one styling.
That's awesome. Well, I hope it happens for you. So, let's talk about the store. Tell us where the store is located. What's your address?
So we're at 1049 Park Street, right in the heart of 5 Points in Riverside. Nice, historic community. It's
beautiful.
We love it over there. Yeah. And again, it's nostalgia for me. I used to spend a lot of time over there eating at Hawkers and Hovan and all these different places. So we love being over there.
Cool. Anything else you want to say to our public?
I guess, one thing I will say is I hear the term a lot from a lot of guys that I'm not a suit guy or I don't wear suits often. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But like I said about the Navy suit, I think every man needs at least one well-made suit in the closet for when something happens. There's always going to be a wedding or somebody's going to be graduating or something's going to come up and you don't want to wait until the last minute to scramble and get something. So having something in the closet that's already ready to go and that is going to look good, I think is super important.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir.
We hopefully we'll get the name out that you're in town. Obviously your suit is your coat looks amazing today. Thank you. Anything else you want to chat about?
No, I mean, I think we covered everything. I think we're good. Shout out to Atlantic Beach.
Shout out.
Got to represent.
Yep. All right, man. Well, it was a pleasure. Definitely, if you're in the market or if you don't even know you're in the market, go see Mike down at Tweeds and have him show you what you can put on and make you feel better.
Absolutely.
All right. Appreciate you being here, brother.
Thank you.
All right.
The Hometown Jax podcast is recorded and produced by First Coast Mortgage Funding, located in the heart of Jacksonville. Do you want to be our next guest? Visit our website at hometownjaxpodcast.com. We can't wait to hear your story.